Again, pretty good. Very good. Hi there everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If it's the first time you've watched one of our videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button. See loads more content from us here at Golfshake to help you play more and play better. Today I've got the brand new MG4 line of wedges from TaylorMade to take a look at. So let's go hit some out here on the golf course. So I've managed to play a few holes so far with these wedges. Now I've got different grinds in here as well. So I've got a low bounce, a high bounce and a mid bounce. We'll talk a little bit about what each bounce option will do for you, as well as kind of a bit of feedback as we're hitting the shots as well. So having hit a few pitch shots already, feels great off the face, loads of spin. And we'll talk a little bit about the tech, right? So this spin thread technology TaylorMade have put in the face here. So when we look closely, we've got the groove pattern, obviously, which has been designed to maximize spin, but we've also got these little diagonal kind of milled bits in between each groove as well. Now, what that's designed to do is take moisture away from basically the contact with the golf ball. So almost like the tread on a tire would, to increase grip. So it increases how much of the face of the wedge is hitting the cover of the golf ball. We've obviously got standard models of MG4 here. A TW option is available as well in 56 and 60, which we'll show you here. Looks absolutely amazing. Does look very similar to these, but a very different grind. So we've got a bit more leading edge relief on the TW1, and it's the grind basically that Tiger is going to use in his set. Now that comes at a bit of a price as well. So we'll talk about that as we get a bit further on in the video. The standard option is going to be about 159 at retail. The Tiger option a little bit more. We're going to hit some shots around the green here. So I've got the standard bounce to start with. I'm going to hit some little chip shots here with that, change the heads over to the high and the low bounce and show you the difference that makes. But to start with, I'm going to use the standard bounce wedge. So we've got a shot of about 35-40 yards here, just a little pitch into the green and off a fairly tight fairway, and see how that reacts. The more bounce we have on a wedge, the better it's going to be out of bunkers or off softer turf, and when we're hitting fuller shots and taking divots with it. Now, when we then get into lower bounce, that's obviously the opposite. So firmer conditions, sort of links golf would be a great example. Lower bounce is going to be really good for that type of golf that you play. It's generally going to dig a little bit more for those of you that are a bit steeper, which most players out there will be, which is why many of you will probably benefit from more bounce in your wedges, because you generally get a bit steep and take some decent sized divots with them. I'd imagine that this standard bounce would be fairly decent from a distance like this, but is going to be better when we get to hitting full shots and obviously out of a bunker as well. But we'll play a few here and have a bit of a look. You see they come in really low, loads of spin. That second bounce really nipped up quickly there as well. And that's what you find with these wedges when I've tested them before in the previous model, so MG3 and 2 and the original sort of mill grind wedge that I used. The spin is just crazy, and certainly, you know, I've hit a few shots with these balls already. We can start to see the cover of the ball actually tearing and marking up a little bit, so I'll play a couple more. A little bit higher, still loads of spin on it. That's really going to stop quick. Yeah, really grabbed. So the low bounce option that we've got now is 8 degrees of bounce, which basically means there's less of an angle between leading edge and trailing edge. And we can see on here as well, we've got a bit more of a grind, so more of like a C shape and almost like a double C shape really going on there. So progressively sort of less bounce on there as well. So we'll play the same shot. Now I'd expect this to, you know, maybe dig a little bit more. The strike might be a bit more difficult. I've always struggled a bit with low bounce wedges, but let's try. Yeah, I mean, definitely a different sound it's made. Comes off a bit more fiery, but still very similar result. Again, I really like that nice low kind of initial launch on the wedge there. You can see it's absolutely loaded with spin as well. Those two, very good shots. And to be honest, I've not really felt that much of a difference between this and the sort of standard bounce one. That one comes in a bit higher, still loads of spin on it. Let's try one with a slightly opened face. Now this is where this kind of lower bounce and this grind will come in a little bit more, make it easier to play this type of shot. So if we had to get the ball up in the air and over an obstacle, obviously there isn't one here, this grind should lend itself pretty well to doing that. Yeah, I mean, that's come out absolutely loaded with it. That's basically spun sideways and pretty much stopped dead. But yeah, it's very much more versatile when we're playing that type of shot around the greens. We'll try a few over the bunker in a little while, but yeah, very, very versatile. Let's use the higher bounce and kind of go in a bunker and sort of show you how it works for the kind of situation it's designed for. So we've now got the higher bounce option. We've got 12 bounce on this, again 58 degrees, a little bit more sole width there, and obviously that bit more bounce. So out of a bunker, we're short-sided here. We've not got much distance between me and the flag, but this should be a great option to get it out of here. So basically, the higher the bounce, like I say, the more of the angle between leading edge and trailing edge. So we've got more mass here, lower under the golf ball. So out of soft conditions like the sand, it should be easier to play these shots. So let's try a few out of here and see how it goes. Very easy to go through the sand. Nearly dunked that one first shot. Let's hit a few more. Yeah, a little bit past the flag, but it's okay. I say it's not an easy bunker shot. That's better. Good. Let's play one more. Get in. Oh, pretty close. But yeah, much easier to play these shots out the bunkers. Splashes through the sand with ease. We'll show you as well, I'll use the low bounce one. I'll hit some bunker shots now with that and show you exactly the difference that we have when playing bunker shots. So when we try and play this same shot with the low bounce wedge, what I'm expecting is for this to dig a bit more, maybe a bit more difficult to gauge the distance and get the yardage right. Yeah, it flew out that one, kind of digged into the sand. Let's try another one. Yeah, not great either. It's very difficult now to control the distance and kind of get the quality of strike that I'm after. It just seems to just fly out of there all the time because it's just digging into the sand and not giving me that kind of, you know, the contact that I'm looking for. Let's try to play a little bit softer. Good, yeah. I mean, if you're playing it off really firm, hard sand, that low bounce will be great. But off here, when it's soft, the surface is going to give away a little bit. The more bounce, the better, and it will certainly help you. Those first four just felt effortless to get them out of the bunker and stop them on the green. This, hell of a lot more difficult. So let's put this new groove to the test. So we've got a shot out of the rough, not lying particularly well, and the rough's a little bit dewy and wet. It's quite early in the morning here. So we're going to hit a few shots towards that pin. We've probably got about 80 yards to the flag, so it's kind of on the limit probably for this club, but we're going to try and hit a few out of here, see if we can get a good contact first, but also see if we can maintain some of the spin when it lands on the green. Yeah, pretty good. That's probably the best of the three. Yeah, it's on the green there. Like I say, it was on the limit distance-wise. But yeah, it's just landed just short right of the flag, but did have a little bit of stop on it as well. So even out of it, you can see the size of the divots I've just taken out of here, look, really gouged it out the rough. Very difficult shot, hard to get it out, and certainly hard to get that sort of distance. You can see those divots are massive that have landed on the fairway there. I will put them back, even though we're in the rough. But yeah, we can see the wedge going to work there, getting the ball out, and also getting it to stop on the green. Back with the low bounce option now, 8 bounce, like I've said, with this nice grind on it. We're going to play a shot that scares the life out of a lot of people that I coach, and that's the one over a bunker where we've got to get it high in the air and stop it fairly quickly. You know, we haven't got a load of green to work with. We're lucky here that it's not the tightest lie ever. We've got a bit of grass underneath it, so we can open the face. But this lower bounce should lend itself very well to play in this shot and allow us to kind of slide that wedge underneath it fairly easily and get a decent amount of height. So yeah, pretty easy to pop it up there. A little bit of release, pretty decent shot to be fair. Yeah, quite nicely, popped out really well. Yeah, pretty good. Very good. So yeah, really, really easy to play it off, even not the best of lies. So like I say, I've played 3 there, 1 off a good lie, 1 off a bad lie, 1 off a all right lie. Obviously one of them's gone in, which is quite a good advert for it. But yeah, very easy to get under the golf ball, very easy to play that kind of finesse shot that we find ourselves faced with a little bit around the greens sometimes. And I suppose when looking at all these wedges, it's kind of we need a bit of a variety in your set. So we wouldn't just go low bounce all the way through the bag unless you're playing on a golf course that's like concrete all the time. but you're still going to need that versatility when you play bunker shots. So we're still going to need a wedge with a bit more bounce in it. The set I've got a 50 degree, a 54 and a 60, and they've all got different bounces in there. So from 10 in my 50, I've got 8 in my 54 and 12 in my 60 because I play lots of bunker shots with that. It's got a grind on it that allows me to open the face as well. So it's good to have lots of different grinds throughout your wedges, because then you can play lots of different shots around the green. So yeah, from playing shots with all of these wedges now, the high bounce, standard bounce and the low bounce, they're kind of specialists for different shots you're going to be faced with. So as we always say, go and get fitted, try these out, see what you think for yourself. Are you someone who's always used low bounce wedges? Do you play at a links course? Are you someone who loves loads of bounce in your wedges? Because there's loads of you out there. I've always loved plenty of bounce on mine, in order to play lots of different types of shots. But let us know in the comments if you've got any kind of comments on your wedge setup, what you've changed over the years, or even which model of wedge you use and why. Obviously we've got the Tiger Woods 56 and 60s that are available as well. They do come at a bit pricier option, so they're around the £200 mark for those. And to be honest, look pretty much the same as these. I don't think there's any kind of discernible difference in the way they're made. For those Tiger Woods fanatics out there, of which I am definitely one, if you want to use the exact grind and kind of look wedge that Tiger's using, you can do. So that's a great feature that TaylorMade offer and have done over the last few MG wedges that they've brought out, but MG4 now with the new grooves in the face. We're still going to get that rust on there as well over time, but we've got loads of grab on there, loads of spin, and definitely a wedge that you should consider.